Hey, welcome back into Any Given Garage. Today we're working on my wife's truck. We're going to unlift the front of it so that it rides a little bit more level. So what we're looking at, here's the wife's tow rig. What we're going to do today, we're going to take all these extra leaf springs out. So it's really only the top two that are stock on here. So I think this is a leveling kit. It was on the truck when she bought it, and she's kind of tired of it. And what's hard to see right now is the truck is actually the other way, kind of nose up as it sits in the driveway right now. But normally it sits totally level. And the problem with that is when she hooks up a trailer or something, it ends up looking like that, right? Real nose up. So we're going to try to make it more stock ride so that it's nose down and it sits more level when she's actually towing. All right, so where we're going to start, I'm going to try to do this with the tires on the ground. Because we've got enough lift, I can get under here comfortably. It's a tall enough truck. I'm going to take off the bolts that actually hold the whole spring pack together. I think I can do this one side at a time. Take these off, lift this side of the truck, pull the springs out, and drop it back down. Do the same to the other side, and then make some adjustment to the steering, maybe the side to side of the axle if I can. Because we've got an appointment with the alignment shop and the tire shop to put new tires on here. So we're trying to get it done. See how it goes. Apparently my little old low duty impact wrench here, only rated for 90 psi, isn't enough juice to start breaking these loose. So let's go to electric, see if that works. All right, so air tool's not working. Didn't have enough juice. And I've got an electric one. I've only got the 3/8. And I don't have an adapter to the 1/2 inch for the impact sockets. Really don't want a chrome socket to explode on me doing this. I guess we're doing it with a breaker bar and probably all of the jack handle extensions. Yeah. What I should have done a freaking hour ago, I was getting all this set up. The magic of the PB blaster. My hope is that once one of these it's kind of loose, the other one will be easier? Question mark? All right. So I knew I had the right adapter. Just couldn't find it. So I've got my 3/8 to 1/2 inch adapter. I forgot to look in the impact drawer. Yeah, that kind of day. So let's see if this little guy's got enough ugga-duggas for this. Nope. Oh, good Lord. You know what? I'll make my life easier. I'm getting a jack handle. I'm over it. And I know you're asking yourself, why doesn't he just cut those bolts? And I've asked myself that same question. The answer is, I don't know. Some sort of sense of pride at this point. I don't know. Taking it apart by hand seemed like a good idea at the time. That's about it. Honestly, I think the reason I haven't cut them because I had some sort of idea of if something wasn't right, I can put them back together with what's already here. But that went out the window as soon as that first one snapped. So, yeah. I think the other side's getting cut. This is taking way too long. Why don't I just cut it now? Again, some misguided sense of pride. I'm not going to let this nut defeat me. It's going to thread all the way off of there. Unless the bolt shears and snaps and twists and breaks. Because I'm still going to call that a win for me. $20 says the guy cross-threaded this when he did the lift however many years ago. Not this guy. Not this guy. You know what they say about cross-threading? Nature's Loctite. Oh my god. There's still so much in there. Ah! I am the champion. And it wasn't worth it. Too loose. Alright, so for those all watching at home, this is a very bad idea. Don't do this. Alright, so it turns out I need to take the shock off. I didn't know that. So here's where we're at. We're lifted up in not a great way. But I can't get the separation on the leaf springs so I can get that spring pack out. So my next plan, I think I'm going to set the truck down on a jack stand. We're going to come under the pumpkin here with the jack, lift it up, pull the tire off, and then that should allow me to actually lower the axle further and get more of that spring droop. Okay. Apparently that nut up on top of the axle there right there, or the nut on that bolt right in the center, seemed like it was actually holding this whole 9 yards together. That was fast. All right, I wonder because I have the other tire on still, it's not getting low enough. So it's not actually dropping, or I'm getting hung up on the anti-sway bar. That's probably the problem. Dusty. All right. Yeah. Let's give that another shot. Hopefully slower. Lower. I think I'm still running into the problem of having the other side put together. All right, now the hope, since these guys have had that baby blaster soaking on them for a while, they will be a little easier to break loose.
So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to loosen these bolts and at least get the tension off before I cut them so that they don't explode my face.
Ugh. Here's hoping this all separates nicely. Kinda. There we go. That's what we've been trying to do all frickin' day. And that is not gonna work. So we're gonna go to the store. Long story short, 3 hours, every single hardware store and auto parts store in 2 different towns, and none of them had the right bolts I need. The closest had the right bolt, but the threads weren't deep enough. So, yeah. So here's where I'm at. So my problem, these locating pins for the leaf springs. See how they have the threads stop way up here, and the head of the bolt is right there. So I need these threads to be down about there. So after none of the stores in any of the towns had the right things, And since we're coming up on the weekend, I'm not going to get the stuff in time for my appointment to get new tires. I had to thread the bolt myself. Which, in retrospect, had I just done that and not spent 3 hours driving around, I'd be done. But here we are. This is getting really hot from all the friction of the cutting. So I'm going to pop it in the freezer for a few minutes, cool it down. Because I can feel with the heat, it gets harder and harder to turn. I don't want the bolt expanding too much and messing everything up. So, a couple minutes in the freezer. We're good to go again. All right, that's all that's left. Other side, torque the lug nuts, drop her down, take her for a cruise, and hope everything's tight. See you guys later.